I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script every scene. These from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang the regime. I'm from Potty Green.
This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's goody, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back at again with a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about a guy, breaking down this guy's skill sets, a guy that I'm sure that you guys are very, very high on, and honestly, so am I. This is a guy who could fit into a very, very big position of need for the Panthers, the safety spot, but there might be something about his gameplay that kind of puts me off a little bit, and I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. But I'm talking about Darnell Savage, this kid out of Maryland, who, if you've seen him play, he plays like his name. His name is his name, bro. Darnell Savage plays like a savage. The guy's a big hitter. He is not afraid of contact. He's kind of a smaller kind of guy. He's listed at 5'11", 200 pounds. I've seen 5'10" on some of his other measurements. I would probably believe 5'10", a little bit more. He is not a very big guy, but he plays strong. The dude is fast. The dude has really great ball hawking abilities. I'll get to his combine in a second, but let's look at his stats right here real quick. His stats are, I mean, they're pretty good. His sophomore year, he had 59 total tackles, 3.5 for loss, a sack, 1 interception, and 3 passes defended. Not bad for a second-year player, but really a first-year kind of guy since his freshman year he only played 5 games. His junior year he played in 12 games. He had 59 tackles again, 3 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, 1 fumble recovered, and 8 passes defended. Usually I don't do this, but I just have to point it out here. 2 of those interceptions he got his junior year. I forgot what team it was against, but 2 of those interceptions were just the quarterback throwing some really, really bad, lame ducks. I'm talking about the receiver wasn't even within 5-7 yards of the pass. They were both balls that just hung out there, kind of thrown out into space, and Donald just came and it just fell in his lap. He didn't have to like contest anybody for the interceptions. They just like fell right into his breadbasket. I'm not taking it away from him. I just want to give a little bit of context there. They're not always going to be, you know, contested or, you know, jumped route kind of interceptions. 2 of those were just basically gifts for him. His senior year, though, he had 52 tackles, 5.5 for loss, 4 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, and 2 passes defended. The guy's really well-rounded. He's not afraid to tackle. He's really good in space. He gets a lot of passes defended. He's fast enough to return picks for touchdowns. And he's, you know, in the mix enough to get tackles for a loss. I'll cover that a little bit more a little bit later. But that's not even the most impressive part about this man's game. Look at his combine numbers here. 40-yard dash, 4.36. 4.36 for a safety. This guy is a blazer. This man, you cannot get caught out into space. He will catch up. If he gets beat on any kind of route, he can regroup, redirect on a dime, and catch up with the receiver, or anyone, really. When I was watching some of his film, there were so many times where he wasn't even anywhere near the play, and he came from outside the screen to make the tackle on a play. He comes from outside the screen to get a hand on the ball sometimes, to help in coverage. This man is never out of the play, and he always wants to be in the play. No matter where he's in the field, no matter if the guy catches the ball on the right side of the field, he's far left, he will always try to pursue. He wants to make a hit every single play. And there were some times that he used his speed, not just to make a tackle on a player, but I saw times where he would, on purpose, overrun the offensive player to make sure he set an edge so the guy would not cut outside on him. And that was very, very impressive. A very high football IQ there. Bench press reps at 11. Look, the guy's not going to be winning any kind of strength awards. The guy's, he's a kind of a smaller guy. He ain't going to be benching very much, and that's cool. I mean, as a safety, you kind of want a kind of stronger guy, but it's not really a big deal there. 11 reps on the bench, like I said in an earlier video, isn't really a red flag for me as a safety. On the vert, he got 39.5. We've seen guys in the combine who are like 6'2", 6'3", who are known as high point specialists, as receivers, only get like 36, 37.5 on their vert. This guy is 5'10", getting 39.5 on the vert. This is kind of an aside, but I wouldn't be surprised this man could hit a 360 between the legs, on through the hoop with the honey dip, the Vince Carter. I believe it. If he said he could do it, I believe it. This man is an athlete's athlete. But there is a problem with this game, like I mentioned at the top of the video. One thing about this guy is that he reminds me of another former Panther that just didn't work out. He's a lot better now. He's a lot better now, but he kind of plays a lot like Trey Boston did in his first couple years with the Panthers, where he would go for big plays, big hits, kind of too often. And sometimes he'd take bad angles at tackling just to get a big hit. He's always going for the hit stick. Not even always, actually. Not like Trey Boston was, but a lot of times he would go for the hit stick when he could just go ahead and wrap up. But, I mean, with how small this guy, Darnell Savage, is, I mean, he really isn't all that great in, like, good technique, like wrapping up tackles. unless he gets that full speed ahead in his tackles, he's not a guy who's going to really dominate you physically. If he gets that speed behind him, he definitely can. With a running start, this man definitely can. And I guess that's part of the reason why he goes for those big hits, because with a running start and a hit there, you can really draw the ball loose, or, you know, make a guy think twice before he comes into your zone again. But a lot of scouts, a lot of analysts, a lot of people who break down his game have been saying that his tackling ability, and sometimes, you know, his he gets a little bit too eager in some tackles, but also just a little bit too eager in coverage as well. He will try to jump a route that comes off in front of him. He will always try to jump a route. That's one of the biggest red flags about his game, is that no matter what, I don't want to say no matter what, honestly, it's not a 100% kind of thing, but it's very consistent. It's often enough that a lot of analysts are saying that, you know what, the guy is, he'll try it. He's going to try it more often than not. He's going to try to jump a route, and it does tend to work out for him. I think half the picks he had were off of him jumping slants off of tight ends or slot receivers. The guy can jump a route. The guy has very, very high football IQ, and he's fast, so he can jump routes, and he can get in there and get a pick on underneath kind of routes. He is very, very able to do that. His hands are very reliable. But there are times where he will jump a route. But if it's a double move, or if the play call is designed to try to get one guy to get out of a help position for a different route higher up the field, Darnell Savage will be playing out of position. Now, he does have the makeup speed, like I said earlier, to make up for those mental mistakes sometimes. But it is kind of a hard sell to, you know, pick up a player who does have those kind of tendencies to go too hard on tackles and to get caught up and tricked and covered sometimes. He will make mistakes. He'll make mistakes. But he is such a good player. You can't teach that 4.3, 640. He is kind of a smaller guy, and as a day 2, second round kind of guy, there may be better options. Darnell Savage's game works best as a strong safety. The Panthers need a free safety who can play really, really well in coverage. He needs to be fast. Doesn't have to be all that big, but I would say probably bigger than 5'10", probably bigger than what he's weighing at. Did I say 200 pounds? Yeah, 5'10", 200 pounds. A guy who can play in coverage, who can play really good coverage and will not, you know, make too many mistakes. It's okay to gamble sometimes, but one of the biggest words that came up in a lot of his write-ups and a lot of his analysis has been gambler, and will jump routes that he may or may not always have to. The guy has really, really great skills, and he will be probably will be a good safety in the league. I think he'll be a good safety in the league. But I think he projects better to be a strong safety where he can play in the box and play, you know, more underneath zones. But I just don't think he projects to be a really good free safety playing up high. You can see from his tackles for loss in his sophomore and senior year, he does play underneath a lot. I think he prefers and would benefit a lot more from playing in the box, maybe playing a little bit of off man sometimes at strong safety. But I don't see him being the best option for the team at free safety. I would not be mad if we did end up picking him. But I will say right now, and I'll be 100% clear about this, he would not be my first pick for the free safety of the Panthers. That's just how it is, man. What are your thoughts on Darnell Savage? Do you like him? Do you not like him? Is he the best safety prospect for the team? And if he is, would you still use that second round pick on him and not go with something other than like safety, maybe a O lineman, maybe an edge rusher, something like that? Let me know all that in the comments below. And if you haven't already, sign that petition. And you already know to do that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.